We all wanna change. We all wanna be somebody else. I wanna visit all the places nobody goes. I wanna teach all the things that nobody knows. I wanna grow wings, leave the coop, learn to fly. Bungee jump from the tallest building in Dubai. I wanna fly around town in my UFO. I wanna eat real food, not the GMOs. I wanna make moves, call the shots like the boss.
I am your host, Kathy Blaze, and today I am here with Mr. Eric Banks, actor. Thanks for joining us today.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you, Kathy.
Such a pleasure. Can you tell me, Eric, when did you first realize that you had this passion for acting?
I'm going to be honest. I've never had a passion to be an actor.
No?
It really happened, I would say, by mistake. I was a member of this church in Philadelphia called Golden Star Baptist Church. And Charlene Wright, she was the drama ministry teacher. And she wrote a play called Focus on Glory. It was about this character, Daniel. And Daniel was a God-fearing man. He knew the word of God. He was in school for law, working at a law firm with an internship.
Mm-hmm.
But God told him, hey, listen, this is not the woman that I have for you.
Okay.
So with Daniel being an actual God-fearing man, he listened. So he had to break up with her. But anyway, that was the character that I played. I knew no theater jargon. I didn't know upstage from downstage. And I was like, I don't know. I don't think I really want to do this. But she said, Eric, just do it. Just come to the rehearsals. I'll show you what you need to do. I'll teach you everything. I'm like, okay, what the heck?
Just jump in there.
Yeah, because I spent a lot of time at the church. I did a lot of work at the church. I basically lived at the church. So I said, okay, if I'm not going to be in the play, I'm sure I'll be helping somewhere around the play. So the day of the play came, we did the rehearsals and everything. And I'm going on and off stage and like, wow, this guy is saying a lot. He's out here a lot. I'm like, I was literally in like almost every scene. Lo and behold, I was the actual main character. I didn't know
you didn't know that.
I didn't know I was the lead because I didn't know. So after the play, I got a lot of positive.
You're just
feedback.
like, oh, they just working me to death out here.
Yeah, I'm like, wow, I find myself in and out, and I'm out here a lot. I'm like, okay, but I didn't know what the lead was, but I was the lead character. So after the play, I got a lot of positive feedback. And I was like, okay, great. Brother Eric, that's all I'm known for around the church. I didn't have to audition. What the heck? No problem. So my buddy Ian, he actually used to be a member of Golden Star Baptist Church. He had a friend who wrote a play called Four Sides to Every Story. Mm-hmm. He said, Eric, listen, they're looking for male actors. Why don't you go and, see if you can't get cast? I'm like, you know what? What the heck? Why not? If they tell me no, I don't care. I don't want to be an actor anyway. I never aspired to be an actor. And they don't know me. So if they tell me no, I'm good. So I go and I audition. And the character that I went for, I'll never forget, the character's name was Anthony. I didn't get that part. But the director called me Michelle Green back in Philadelphia. She said, Eric, we don't see you as Anthony, but we do see you as another character. Would you mind playing? I think the character's name was Marcus, I think. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I got cast in Four Sides to Every Story. And basically, it's been a wrap since. It's been nonstop.
Been nonstop since.
Yeah, it's addictive.
Yes, it can be.
Yeah. So
you got started in the church. So after you got started, was there anyone that was an inspiration for you?
Honestly, I'm going to be honest. Well, yeah, there was a person that was an inspiration for me. A buddy of mine by the name of Walter DeShields. He he's an actual professor at, I think it's Drexel or LaSalle University. I believe it's LaSalle. And he and we were in Four Sides to Every Story. We became really good friends, but he was so far along in the acting game than I was. And he was getting some really nice roles. His range as far as an actor, in my opinion, was really wide. Mm-hmm. So I would say, yeah, he was more of an influence to me because I wanted to be like Walter, getting all these roles. People, he wouldn't even have to audition. People just, hey, listen, I got a role for you.
I got a role for you.
I'm like, okay, well, how can I get that role without audition? So I would say Walter DeShields definitely was a influence.
One thing I've noticed with you, a lot of time actors talk and they don't speak using the language that you're using. the correct terminology.
Mhm.
And you used a lot of that in telling me about these stories about ranges and things like that.
Mhm.
A lot of actors don't even know that because they haven't gone through that. And the training, sometimes actors just get started by, like you said, thrown in on a film set,
Mhm.
and they're not paying attention to everything that's actually happening and learning the terminology. And terminology is so important to what you're doing.
Mhm.
And a lot of people don't learn those things. So that was one thing that I caught from you is the terminology that you used.
Well, over time, when you work on theater productions, or you work on feature films, or you work on short films, or you work on background, being whether you feature or just background work, you learn all these different things, and it's really important to know what you're doing.
Right.
And you, these are things that you learn, and the trained eye can tell who has experience and who doesn't. So when you're auditioning and you're in circles amongst other individuals, bottom line is go get some training.
How do you feel about training? I mean, is it necessary?
It's definitely necessary. When I first started acting, I've been acting for a while now, and you think you know what you're doing
Mm-hmm.
until you get around other individuals that know what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And you may have a God-given talent, or however I say for me, because I believe in God. That's just me,
Right.
and I believe it is definitely a God-given talent.
Right.
But in addition to having that natural talent, you have to learn. Just for example, when you do theater, theater is so over the top,
Right.
and when you do film, it's just so much smaller, but it's very effective. And for
Right.
example, if somebody did a close-up on you, just from your chin to not even to your hairline, I did not know that you should not blink. Like I'm talking to you,
Mm-hmm.
and if I'm delivering my lines, if you blink a lot, it takes away from the character, and
Right.
it distracts the actual shot.
Right.
So, and I'm taking a lot of classes online now,
Mhm.
on online camera work. Currently taking a class at Verve Studios called Getting Personal,
Uh-huh.
how to use various emotions within a character, but not losing your place and not losing your lines. So training, I'm gonna be honest, it is so important. You go to all these auditions, whether it's a theater audition or if it's a film audition, and specifically in film, if again, the trained eye, such as George Obarts and the other individuals around
Mhm.
the Arizona area that do films on a consistent basis, they know what they're looking for, and they can tell that you don't have a lot of experience in film because of how you carry yourself on film,
Right. Right.
how you talk, how you look.
Right.
All those little things, all those little nuances, they mean a lot.
Mhm.
And again, the trained eye can tell the difference. So, and it's not, you won't always get cast. Even no matter how good you are, you won't get cast because you just may not be what they're looking for. But get some training. It's
Right.
very, very important to get some training on camera work, character study, scene study, things of that nature, because when you go for an audition, you want to get cast.
That is true.
And you
that's
won't-
the main
you won't
reason
get
for
cast.
being there.
Yes.
Speaking of the eyes, I remember earlier on, I was in a film
Hmm.
and I just automatically, I'm a blinker. So I had to learn to control that.
Yes.
And I remember doing a scene with this girl, and I guess my eyes were, I was blinking a lot. And the director didn't stop. She stopped. Oh, your blinking is driving me crazy.
Right. Yeah. It will. It becomes very distracting. Like,
Yes.
of course, like as I said earlier, theater, you're moving all over the place.
Right.
You have to use this. You got to use this. You got to use the stage. You got to work the stage. But in film, it's just like right here.
Right.
You can't move a lot.
That's
Stay
true.
still. Focus on the subject. And
Get out
sometimes
my eyes.
and even in like just the slightest move of your mouth.
Right.
Those are the things that I've learned when you're about camera. Because I've done a lot of theater, but now as I transition in more into film, because that's
You're
my goal.
Learning a lot.
I'm learning all those little nuances that mean so much.
Well, since we're talking about theater, most of your experience has been on stage in theater,
Mhm.
correct? Do you think that being a theater actor has prepared you for film, or has it made it hard for you since we're so much bigger as a theater actor?
I wouldn't say that it made it, well, theater, in my opinion, is the best training for an actor because you learn your lines,
Mhm.
You learn how to remember. You learn how to deal with different characters. But again, theater is so over the top.
Right.
The transition to film can be a little difficult. It really can be, because you're so used to being. And again, the trained people, like, you're a theater actor, aren't you?
Yeah. Oh, they
And I'm
know
like,
theater
yeah.
actors.
Like, and I'm saying to myself, I wonder what made them ask that, because I guess the way when you move a lot in the
Right.
camera, that could be very distracting again.
Right.
So yeah, it's transitioning from theater to film. I wouldn't call it hard, but it's a challenge. It's definitely a challenge.
Mhm.
It truly is.
Tell me about your favorite role.
Actually, I had quite a few roles, but
Just
for the
tell me about one.
Mesa Encore Theater, we did a play called Jesus Hopped the A Train, and I played a correction officer, Valdez, which I won Best Supporting Actor.
Okay.
And
Congratulations.
Valdez was a piece of work, okay? And needless to say, this was not a family-friendly play. It was a lot of language, put it that way.
Oh, okay.
But I would say that was probably my favorite character, Valdez.
Okay. Okay. Well, where can our audience find you?
Well, I as far as Instagram, I am under the name of God's First Soul. And also, as far as Facebook, you can find me at ebanks-the-actor
Okay.
at gmail.com.
Well, it was a pleasure having you here today with us.
Kathy, thank you for having me.
It's such a pleasure.
Thank you
Thanks for
so much.
joining
I
us.
appreciate you.
And we will be right back after this commercial break.
We don't wanna change. We don't wanna be